Hey everybody, welcome to the Ottawa Swordplay Saturday drill class for February 6th. Our renovations, sprucing up of the sword hall is ongoing. So again, there may be sounds in the background here. It should be a little quieter than last week. But look forward to having everybody able to see what we are doing and getting it all done. Today we're going to be working mostly on the Krumphau, or the Wecker or Waker, which is the windshield wiper type strike. But of course we'll start with our foundation actions. And before I forget, I'm just going to mention that I put a strip of red tape along one edge of the sword to represent the long edge, so that's the leading edge of the sword. There are situations where knowing which edge is forward is useful. And I try and mention those, but sometimes I fail and sometimes it's hard to tell what I'm saying. But hopefully the tape will help and not completely camouflage itself against my sweater. Alright, so we're going to start with our foot rotations. So put your feet shoulder width apart and rotate all the way to one side and then the other side and left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to use the windshield wiper, the actual Krumphau. So for this right now, we're going to tuck our elbow right close to our side. We're going to be in a thumb grip like this. And we're going to start in the long grip. And as we rotate, we're going to switch to half sorting, long grip. All right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we want to keep this action as much in the hand as possible so that we're not moving our whole arm. 8, 9, 10. And we're going to switch to the left hand and start on the outside and we won't do the half swirling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, next we're going to do our Tsuken-based exercise. So this is the one where I'm starting with the sword in a central position, pulling back to my left hip, forward to the center, back to my right hip, forward to the center. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to keep your arms nice and relaxed and extended so that you're not T-Rexing your arms. 8, 9, 10. All right. So we're going to do the one for our rotator cuff. So you're going to hold the sword reversed. Keep your upper arm parallel to the floor, sword parallel to the floor. Rotate down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch to the left hand. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the last one is flipping into the thumb grip. So holding the sword in the handshake grip, using the heel of our hand, we're going to bump the grip down to come up, putting the cross guard at a T with our thumb on the flat like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And almost all of these things, we want the action to be isolated, usually in the hand. When we're doing the Tsuken, it's actually our shoulders mostly that are moving. When we're doing this thumb grip flip, it's all just in our fingers and hand. The more we're wrenching our whole arm, the less efficient we are being with our fight. All right, so we're going to do do some footwork. We're going to start with passing steps. And as usual, I will go across the room. We're going to do 2 forward, 1 back, and then 2 back, 1 forward. If you run out of space before I do, just switch to going 2 backwards before I do, and then switch going forward again when you run out of space. So I'm starting left foot forward, and we're going to rotate on the balls of our feet, rotating hips, and pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass. Rotate, pass, 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 rotate, pass. I'm going to do 1 forward, 2 back now. Rotate, pass, 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 rotate, pass. All right, that's enough of that. The other footwork that I want to do today is going to be quite a bit quicker. We're going to be doing our leaf steps. And leaf step is the passing step forward that is like the first step of our wide spring. So if I'm standing left foot forward and I want to do a leaf, I don't need to rotate my hips because my back foot is going to go forward out on the angle that it's already at, and I'm going to pass forward like that. And then when I do my second step, I still don't need to rotate my feet, but there is a little bit of a circular arc to this step as I pass forward on that same line, and then I go the other way. So we'll do that across the room and back. So it'll just be step. It will be the call for each one. So step, 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 step. I'm going to turn around. Step, 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 step. All right. Now, today's class, I'm going to be explaining some of our technical context, why we're doing the things, where we're doing them, because some of them are a little bit weird and it's helpful to understand. So we're working on the Krumphau or the Waker, and we are told that it is especially effective against people in Ochs. And it is effective against people coming into Ochs and people who are standing in Ochs and stuff like that. So the first thing I want to talk about a little bit is the guard Ochs itself. And Ochs is a really good oppositional cover. So what the heck do I mean by that? If I am fighting somebody who is right-handed and I wind into Ochs on my left side, then I've got a really good structural cover here where they have to cut through this or go around it to get to me. My sword is in the way, and it's in a strong position. And you can see I've got the pel set up in that exact position. And one of the reasons why it is so strong is because the strong of the sword is high. If I'm just striking, I end up striking with the weak part of my sword against the strong part of their sword. So I can't displace that, which means I'm walking onto their sword if I try and go through. Unless I try and adjust my strike to aim at their weak, in which case I'm not aiming to threaten them directly. So it provokes an indirect attack. Now, that in and of itself is awesome, but in particular, if I'm in Ochs like this and somebody strikes against the weak of my sword to push it down, they are starting the motion of a circular cut around to the other side that they don't have time to recover for. And John used to murder me with these all the time. Now, what can we do about that? Well, there are a couple of things. If I do a Krumphau here, which is what we're going to be talking about, we end up having a problem because we're creating that same situation. By the time I can do my second Krumphau, I've already been hit on this side. So we need to besiege the guard. And that's using the Forsetsen version of the Krumphau. And it is unusual, and that's what we're going to be working on. So normally when we do a Krumphau from the shoulder, I'm going to extend, switch into Sprechfenster, into the thumb grip, and then do the windshield wiper as I step. And the siege version is just like that, except that once I go to Sprechfenster and I do that cut, I'm going to actually bring my hands high. All right? And when I'm doing that here, I'm doing it to strike short. And by strike short, what I mean is I'm not actually striking against their blade. I'm striking so that my point goes underneath their blade. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 10 of those. And it will be extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Oh, I just barely caught the blade. All right? So, extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Reset. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Reset. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Reset. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Reset. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. That's 5. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. 3 more. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Last one. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike. Now, something I didn't mention, and I hope it was apparent, in order to do that striking short, to make my point land short, I'm not pulling my arms away. I'm doing that wide leaf step, which means that my body is pulling my sword off to the side. The other thing, and it's hard to tell with the pel, is I want to do this in such a way that they still can't just hit me unless they at least take a step towards me, which gives me time to recover. All right? So the advantage I have of doing this is that now if they try and strike around to this side with that circle cut I showed, they're going to land here on the strong of my blade, which is what I want. So what if they don't? What if they stand here like this? Well, then we're going to follow through and stab them in the face. So what I'm going to do, extend, Sprechfenster, strike, and I'm pointing through their hands at their face under their sword. I'm going to wind slightly higher into Ochs and do a second leaf step in towards them to stab them in the face, and I'm actually lifting their sword as they come in. If your opponent is significantly taller than you, this can be problematic. I will admit this. But in general, somebody the same height as you, even close to the same height as you, it's absolutely fine. All right? So again, I'm doing extend, Sprechfenster, strike short, wide, step. And that's what we're going to do. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. Reset. 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 Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. That's 5. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. Reset. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. 3 more. Extend, Sprechfenster, step, 1, step. 2 more. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. Last one. Extend, Sprechfenster, strike, wide, step. All right. So that is a slightly unusual version of the Krumphau. And if they do strike around to the other side, they're moving a little bit more here. So we just do the same thing, but we track their face with our point. And we are covered underneath what they're doing. One other little thing I'm going to point out, the position we end up in here at the end of our strike is kind of like an offside Ochs. I'm in right Ochs, but my right foot is forward. So my extension is a little bit funny, and my body is a little bit twisted. My opponent is in left Ochs, right foot forward, which means that they are actually in a better structural position, but they don't have a way to step towards me over here very well. Or I guess they do, they've got their left foot, but still, their positioning is different because they need to step into a similar kind of thing. Now, if I was left-handed here, and I was in Ochs, and now the Pell is my opponent, and they've done this Krumphau and are aiming at my hands. If I try and strike around here, I've got this problem that they're going to stab me in the face that I had before. So what do? I actually step over here and reverse the siege. I besiege their siege. Anyway, we're not going to do that today because I don't have a partner to work with, but it's a little technical thing that I really like. All right, so we're also just going to look at some fairly basic Krumphau Waker situations, except that we're going to mix up the foot position a little bit. And the reason we can do that is that the position of our hands when we're doing the Waker, or we're working through Sprechfenster a lot here, our hands are right in front of us, which means they're central, which means it doesn't matter what foot we have forward. So normally when I'm in Schrankhood, my sword is on my right and my left foot is forward, and I do my Waker and I step with my right foot. But I can also be in Schrankhood with my right foot forward and my sword at my right. And this is actually kind of bad structure normally, but again, I can extend both my hands, so it's not as bad as you might think. So then if I want to do a Waker, I'm going to drive my hands forward and step with my left foot. And again, I'm kind of in that bad structure, but it doesn't matter because the structure is central. So we're going to start just with that, and we're going to do 5 strikes from Schrankhood, whoops, starting wrong foot forward. And my instincts fight against starting wrong foot forward now. So from Schrankhood, we're going to come to Sprechfenster, step with the strike. So I'll say Sprechfenster strike, or Sprechfenster step. Sprechfenster step. Reset. Sprechfenster step. Reset. Sprechfenster step. Reset. 2 more. Sprechfenster step. Reset. Sprechfenster step. All right. So normally when we do a Waker, my structure would put me here. So I do my triangle step to shoot long with the secondary action that becomes the attack, which is kind of a second weaker, and we often describe it that way. But when I've stepped with the wrong foot, I want to actually go this way and bring my sword here. If I triangle step, I'm twisting myself up more. So instead, I'm just taking a second passing step forward. So even though the technique crosses up our structure, we aren't too bothered by that, and it makes our footwork simpler. So again, we're going to start right foot forward, and it will be Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. All right? So, and we'll do 10. So, Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Reset. 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 Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Reset, that's 5. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Reset. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. 3 more. Spreckfenster, oh, I had my feet wrong. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Reset. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Last one. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. If you have lots of space, you can actually do this repeatedly in a line. So right now I'm in my offside strength hook, and I do Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step, and then I can just drop my sword back down here. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. So for what we're going to do next, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, I again want to give one little comment about what we're doing here. If I'm starting right foot forward with my sword on my right, and I'm doing a waker across as I step forward, my coverage on this side is kind of weak because my hip wants to pull my sword away from the side I'm trying to cover. So I'm leaving myself open here, particularly because my upper hand is the one that is away from the lead. So that is problematic, and it just requires extra caution. When we do the same thing on the other side, so I'm in the crossed hands version here, and I'm the wrong foot forward, I'm going to come up to Spreckfenster and step with the strike. My sword is a wall on this side, so on my off side, this is actually super strong. And then I shoot long and step, and again, I've actually got a really good structure here. So we can do this on both sides, but it's better going from left to right. So, starting left foot forward, sword hanging in strength hook on the left, we're going to go Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. All right? So, we're going to do 10. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. I'm going to turn around. That's 4 so far. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. And we have 2 more to do. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. Back to guard, last one. Spreckfenster, step, shoot long, step. All right, So we don't often hang out in Shranklet, and it's my belief that Shranklet is mainly used for teaching techniques, even though it can be used as a useful guard, especially if you mix up what you do from there. However, we do have a technique that leads us to that particular offside waker, and that's the Abschneiden. So when we do the Abschneiden, we are starting in our left elbow, left gate, or also called Wechselfoot, and we're driving this pommel down to pick up their sword and bring it to the side. And the counter our opponent is supposed to do is wind into Ochs to push the blade this way. And of course, the waker is good against Ochs. So now, we're going to step to push their point down here. And then, oh, we are doing it on the right side. Oh well, it doesn't matter. We're going to end up doing the triangle step on this one. All right, so we're starting in the Abschneiden, and we are, or in the Wechselfoot, we're going to drive up, waker, waker. All right, we're going to do 10 of that. So, drive, waker, waker. Reset, 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 drive, waker, waker. 3 more, drive, waker, waker. Drive, waker, waker. Last one, drive, waker, waker. All right, now, the last thing we're going to do is a long sequence that we're going to add on to what we just did, and we're going to add on at the beginning and the end. So we're going to start in the tower, and we're going to extend, strike to elbow, drive, waker, waker. Now, at this point, if the person pushes on our sword, as Marla did in class 2 weeks ago, I'm going to go through, pull the pommel to snap. And that snapping, is really just another Krumphau or waker. And this is the longest, I think, canonical play that we actually see in the manuscripts described this way. So, from the tower, extend, Wechselhau, drive, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. All right? So 10 of those. Extend, Wechselhau, drive, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Reset. Extend, Wechselhau, drive, waker, waker, pommel, step, snap. Reset. Extend, Wechsel, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Reset. Extend, Wechsel, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Reset. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. That's 5. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Reset. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. 3 more. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Reset. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. Last one. Extend, Wechselhau, Abschneiden, waker, waker, pommel, step, schnappen. All right. Some of that didn't end up exactly how I intended, but those are still some of my favorite techniques, which is the real reason we did them. that's it for now. I hope to see you back here next week. Hi there. As I finished the video today for the drill class, a thought occurred to me, and I just wanted to do this little addendum onto it. I mentioned that when we're doing a siege against a person in Ochs, that if they are much taller than us, we end up with an angulation problem. So if I'm shorter here coming in, the other person can get their sword over top of mine and hook it over and hit me, especially the closer I get to their hands, the easier it is to do that hook. If I'm close to the same height, I can do that lift and get it up out of the way, so it's not a problem. But we have another option that we can use, and if we're against a taller opponent, definitely should, but we could, even just because we like it, because it's awesome. And it's related to what we were doing in class already. So doing this Krumphau here, striking short, once I get my point underneath here, as I do my leaf step to step in, I'm going to pull the pommel to do a second Krumphau and knock their sword, and in this case the whole pal, over to the side and get them out of the way. And then from there I can just cut across as I step across a line. So that is another option that you can use in that circumstance, and it uses a waker that we were practicing on. So just a little bonus for you.